So the next layer, guys, we're going to add our lovely hill moss or bun moss to create a lovely vision of a little hilly landscape. Perhaps a Welsh valley or the Yorkshire Dales, whatever it takes you into your imagination world, which is what these little things are. But please bear in mind, guys, please don't take it all from your local forest. That's not really good practice. Let the moss be moss in the forest. So what we're going to do is make sure that we have enough space in our terrarium before we prepare the moss. So the first step is to see what space I have available to create a little hillscape. So I've got a nice big space here. I could perhaps create a little valley, and that's what we're going to do, show you how to create a little valley. Grab your bun moss, and I'm looking at the space I've got in my jar. I'm going to break up the moss. Just easily peels apart, just like, that's why it's called bun moss. It's shaped like a bun. And then I'm going to turn the green palm side down. I'm going to prune it because we don't need all these rhizomes in our terrarium. It's unnecessary. By pruning this, it will not harm the moss at all. And all we're doing is just leveling it or flattening it so it fits nicely into our environment. It doesn't harm the moss at all. So it's a bit flatter, and you'll see the reason why in a second. With the bun moss, we squeeze it because we need it to be moist but not wet, because it's going into a closed environment. As long as it's moist and it's not soaking wet, in a terrarium, it's good to go for very long periods of time. Very easy to maintain. Now folks, I'm going to do a little bit of a close-up on this. Because we now have two pieces of moss, your imagination kicks in. If you look at the side of your garden, you can see, I'll just point with my brush here, the potentials at the beginning of a little valley or a little hidden walkway. Imagine yourself being miniaturized. That's where the imagination comes. And what we're going to do next, folks, as part of our hardscaping or decorating layer, is add bits of gravel to create that lovely valley that you've been wanting to create for a long time. Final steps. Hard landscaping, decorating with our lovely stones and gravel to provide that final beautiful landscape you've been working so hard on. We're going to now get our little scoop and go back to our gravel that we started with earlier, or you can use a different gravel or even a sand if you wish. I particularly like this lovely beige gravel here, and this is going to create my imaginative little valley in between those little hills we've just added the bun moss. So we just pour that in like so. I might need a couple of scoops. Place it in very gently. Try not to get the gravel on top of your moss as well. If you do, just brush it off with your art brush. The moss doesn't like to have loads of stones on the top of it really. And then with my art brush, I'm just going to gently shape the gravel into a sort of pathway or valley, glacier, whatever your imagination takes you. And as you spread it round, you start to see the beginning of actually a natural valley going through the countryside. And there you have it, a lovely natural environment. And then you can continue using the same gravel. We've got some space here, but you don't have to fill every bit of soil with gravel. It's totally up to you. Personally, I like to use the gravel because it adds a lovely light textured colour scheme to my garden. So what I'm going to do is continue using the same gravel on this quadrant of the garden, and then I'm going to introduce some larger stones that we prepared earlier. So I'm going to put this one in. You can at this point just pour it in and then using your brush, just spread it around very gently so it's nice and neat. And that reminds me of a little beachscape when I was a child on holiday with my parents. But whatever imagination you have, guys, enjoy building your terrarium. And that is just one of many hundreds of designs. So now it's your turn.